I'm going to explain exactly how to speed up your mounts so you can get done with them as quickly as possible. Look at that. He didn't even get a chance to throw me against a wall. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it and exactly what you need to do to speed this all up. And I'm actually not even going to get the attack. Look at that. See, and I know if I'm not going to get the finishing attack. I'm going to teach you exactly how to get the tells, how to learn everything, how to speed it all up, and we're going to get as efficient as possible in Monster Hunter mounting game. Hello friends, thank you so much for tuning in back again. My name is Tom, this is my channel Tom's Mons. This video we are going to be talking about everything you need to know about mounting a monster in Iceborne. Mounting a monster in Iceborne. Listen, we all know mounting has become a little bit of a chore in World, right? They made the minigame a little bit not as fun, right, as the old games. It's a lot more of a drag because it lasts longer. So let's talk about exactly what you need to do to speed up your mounts so you can get back to fighting these monsters as fast as possible. All right, let's get into it. Cool. So the first thing that you really need to know about mounting a monster is that obviously you have to do aerial attacks to get on top of the monster. My first tip as far as speeding up your mounting is concerned. Okay, I'm gonna cut to me getting the mount, which is like right now. It's not. How much aerial do I need to do to you? Damn, I'm getting rocked. Okay, so first thing in order. If you are on its head, look how slow I'm stabbing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that's really slow, right? If you get on the chest, or on the back rather, you can actually stab them much faster. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the first trick. Trick number 1, try and get to its back to stab the monster. Because if you get to the back of the monster, that sounds weird, but if you get on the back of the monster, then you can actually stab the monster faster than any other part. Why is that important? You're going to see why. Because the next thing to know is once you're on the back, you're going to want to know exactly when you can get that flinch, when you can make the monster flinch. Why is that important? Well, many times while you're mounting the monster, they'll try and push you off of them and shove you off. And yes, granted, you can actually press L2 and get back onto the monster if you have enough stamina, but we want to avoid that. This is all about trying to speed up mounting as quickly as possible. Speed it up so you can just be done with it, get back in the fight. Tip number 1, get on the back of the monster, on its back. That will speed up the number of stabs that you can do. Tip number 2, you want to count the number of stabs because you'll know when you're going to flinch the monster. And after a few flinches, you know you're going to get the ending part of the minigame where you actually do a really big hit on the monster, you damage them a lot, and then you finish the mount, right? So if we can get to that point as fast as possible, that's going to speed up all of our mounting. Okay, right, so get on the back of the monster. Okay, and then this is a really good important reason why to know when it's going to flinch, because when he's trying to smack you against the wall, you know if a flinch is coming up. That way you know if you have time to keep stabbing the monster in order for them not to throw you against the wall and to knock you off. That just gets you even faster, you know, that just makes you even faster. So tip number 1, get on its back, you can stab the monster quicker. Tip number 2, count the number of stabs that you're doing because between 10 and 12 stabs you'll get a flinch depending on the monster. If it's tempered, depending on if it's an elder, just depending on where you are on the monster sometimes, a lot of those factors really play in. So that's the first thing. Get on the back of the monster, you can stab quicker. Then count the number of stabs you have. That will actually enable you to tell when the monster is going to flinch. The number of flinches will tell you when the monster is going to topple over, right? So after 2 flinches on the monster, let me get back on the monster and I'll show you. So the number of, wow, camera, thank you. So the number of flinches will tell you when the monster is going to fall over, right? So I'm going to get it on its back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, I knew exactly when he was going to do it, so I stopped the flinch. After you get 2 flinches and about 6 more hits after that, it's going to start into the minigame where you can attack the monster and topple it over. Bam, you already know that. Then Next order of business, when you're falling off, don't do what I did. You actually need to land your Clutch Claw attack, because you'll be quicker to the recovery if you land your Clutch Claw attack, right? What do I mean by that? Well, I'll show you. Okay, so what have we talked about so far? We've talked about getting onto the back of the monster so that you can stab the monster faster, counting the number of stabs that you're doing so that you can tell when the monster is going to flinch, which will make it so that it can't throw you against the wall or throw you off as easily. That'll also make it so you can so you know exactly when you will be able to start the minigame, which is important because you can move around and decide where you want to hit the monster once you know it's going to start the minigame, right? Next tip after that, you can get a Clutch Claw attack in free after a mount, right? So now I hit myself onto the back, 1, 2, 3, and if you hold R2, you can brace, right? Why does that matter? That keeps you in the exact same spot so you don't move around, so the 10 stabs doesn't reset, right? So we're building up to our 10. I know I'm going to hit 10 before he stabs, right? And now I'm going to hit 6, and as soon as I hit 6, I can move to where I want to attack on the monster. That enables me to get some damage in on the tail, on the face, wherever you want to get it. And then you can immediately press L2, circle, and you can Clutch Claw onto the monster. Just make sure you aim, and if you're really high up in the air and you drop the monster really far down, then you need to just delay your input for a little bit because you need to fall some distance first before you Clutch Claw. So those are a couple ways to really improve the speed of your mount. But mounts are something that you really kind of want to do after the monster is enraged. Why? Because when it's not enraged, you can get the wall bang so easily. I don't have any ammo, but you know what I mean. You can get the wall bang right here if you had some ammo easily, and that's just free damage and a knockdown as well. So what do you want to do? You want to save the mounts till they're enraged. But let's say you accidentally get a mount while it's not enraged, and you're not meaning to. It just happens, right? Sometimes it just happens in the fight, and you're like, ah, shit. Well, it's not enraged, and I got the mount. What do I even do? Do I just hop off? Do I just give up the mount? What should I do? Well, you have a couple of different options. You could just go for the mount, or you could actually transfer from mounting into a Clutch Claw attack. I'll show you how. So you hold L2 to ready your slinger. If you fire your slinger with R2, you're just going to fire a slinger pod on them. It does a little bit of KO damage. But if you press circle, you'll actually transition and you'll swing back onto them, and that enables you to press circle and actually get the slap in there, and then you can transition to the R2, which will get you the wall bang, right? So there's a couple different ways that you can go now that you know what to do exactly on a mount. So now that it's enraged, now you really want to get the true mount, because then that'll get you an actual free opening instead of just like doing a mount instead of doing a wall bang, because wall bangs are essentially more damage. Why? Because you get, for instance, you get the hit against the wall, but then you also get the time that it's down, right? You do get a little bit of extra damage because you get the mount attack, and with like a greatsword, for instance, that's kind of a lot of attack, you know? I want to show you exactly how to tell if you're going to miss the mount or if you're going to topple the monster without getting the finishing attack. Gold, get down here. Small tip, if you want to bring your Palico to you, you can press start and square signal. Usually that brings your Palico right to you. If you notice in the bottom left of the screen right here, there's a little wheel, of course, right? So that is actually the monster's stamina. So let me get 10 hits on him here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You notice his stamina actually decreased a slight amount. Let me hold R2. I just want to stay on this spot. Get a little bit quicker weakening here, or quicker flinch. So every time I flinch him, notice his stamina actually decreases a little bit. If that stamina hits 0, like that, I just got another flinch. If I flinch him one more time without getting the last hit in, he will fall over before I actually get that last hit. Now, what constitutes as a flinch? That's going to be every 10 stabs, every 10 to 12 stabs, or even if a teammate flinches the monster at the exact same time, that is going to trigger a flinch and lower the stamina of the monster while you're on the mount. So you'll know now whether or not, just watch that stamina bar. If it hits 0, then you know you're going to, or if it hits like 1 tick left and you know you need to flinch it at least 1 more time before you can get to the mini game, unless it bugs out somehow, then you know you're probably not going to get to the, your attack. So you can let your teammates know it's going to fall over. Okay, lastly, I just want to add a couple things to this. The glider mantle is broken, so if you do really want to get a mount, always just go for the glider mantle, and you can even just clutch claw onto the monster and then get off of it pressing X, and then you can hit it again, and you'll probably get a mount, or as long as you weren't spamming mounts. The other thing I wanted to mention is that a lot of the more difficult monsters to mount are actually at the end of the game. Capcom decided to make monsters like Sharish, Valda, Alatreon, and Fatalis really hard to mount. So they gave them these animations right here, which makes it so you are forced to brace the monster. The only reason I didn't right here is because I knew I was going to get the next flinch. Most people would just move to a different position of the monster when it's trying to throw them off, but I recommend bracing and seeing actually how quickly it improves your mounting times. Also, there is something like this right here, where you can get a second final attack on a monster. Sometimes it happens from breaking a monster's part, like what just happened. Sometimes this monster has some extra stamina. I'm not sure exactly what triggers it, but it's a free attack, so whatever. Also for Alatreon, you kind of want to just feel it out. It almost never stops struggling, so sometimes you will have to move around on it just to get an opening to stab. So just feel it out with Alatreon. And things like Shara and Fatalis, I would say don't even bother trying to move around. Just stay braced onto one spot, wait for your opening. You can even tell with the stamina bar in the top left on your stamina bar, it'll tell you exactly when it's using your stamina. See, it's going down right there, and then when you're bracing, it also kind of turns red like that. Right, so that's when you need to brace, and then you can let go and then keep stabbing, and then you'll eventually, after you stabbed enough, you'll eventually get the opening. But monsters like Fatalis and Shara are a lot more difficult because they continue attacking the whole party if there are more party members there, or they just continue attacking in general while you are on top of them. So all of these things are just tells to help you figure out exactly what is going to speed up your mounting and what is going to be the most efficient use of your time, right? So sometimes you're going to want to go right into the wall bang if you're mounting it while it's not enraged. Or if it is enraged, just go for the absolute fastest mount possible. So hit it on the chest, flinch it twice, hit it 6 more times, and then you'll get the instant down. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something. If you did, please share this with a friend. Share this with another Monster Hunter friend of yours. Share this with your teammates maybe. That'll really help them. Whoever gets the most mounts, share that with that person. Also, if you did enjoy the video, maybe consider subscribing. I do Monster Hunter videos on the reg. I love Monster Hunter. It's my absolute favorite game. I have Monster Hunter history videos if you'd like to check those out as well. And yeah, so that's pretty much the whole shebang as far as mounting monsters. Let me know if you learned something. Let me know if I forgot anything, because that is vital as well. Don't want to forget anything, leave anything out, because we all need the maximum amount of info possible, right? So, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you guys didn't cringe too much at my terrible fighting of basil geese here. Normally, I'm a lot better at fighting. I promise. I was just going for the mounting. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, friends. Okay, so, why is that important? Look at this. If I count the number of steps, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so around 11 or around 10 to 12, you're actually going to get a flinch, right? So why is that important? Because when you get a flinch, you know. I don't know why that one lasts. Okay, just because I know a lot about mounting doesn't mean I know everything. I don't know why sometimes it lasts. Why sometimes they just decide to just keel over really quickly, or how I got to that fast that time. Genuinely, there are still some mysteries even to me too. So if you do know, let me know down below.